Hi, I'm Kirby.
I'm Dana.
And we are
Migratory Nerds. It's time for our latest adventure. Let's get exploring.
Good morning. It's day 5 of our 7-day cruise on the Norwegian Breakaway from Boston to Bermuda. And we are officially in Bermuda. We got here last night, but we were delayed getting in. We were supposed to be clearance around 4. And we didn't hear clearance announcements till 5:30, so we didn't get off last night. So we're getting off today. We're going to take Norwegian's complementary shuttle to the St. George area and try and do the Crystal Caves. You come through this door for arrivals, and then if you walk down this hallway, basically down the sidewalk and pull a U-ey, that's where the complementary Norwegian shuttle is. The ferry schedule varies by the cruise ships and port, so check with guest services for the time and make sure you get there a little bit early. Our ferry left before its scheduled departure time. From the ferry, you're looking for the East End Variety Store, which is this store here. That's where the bus stop is to go to the Crystal Caves. The store did sell the tokens for the bus if you didn't buy them ahead of time using the app. At the bus stop by the Swizzle Inn and ice cream, and then there is a walkway right. So it's the bus stop there, and then there's a walkway right here to get to the caves. All right, how was your day in Bermuda?
Good.
How was let's start with the Crystal Caves.
Let's start with the ferry.
Let's start with the ferry. That's a good point. Let's start at the very beginning.
It's a very good place to start. The ferry was great. The ferry has tons of seating. Really comfortable seats for the most part. We didn't sit outside, but the inside seating was really comfortable. Yeah. That was awesome.
And bathrooms.
And bathrooms, real bathrooms, and it was included.
Yes, for Norwegian Cruise Lines, Norwegian has their own shuttle. Or I keep calling it a shuttle. It's a ferry that shuttles you from the Royal Navy Dockyard to St. George. Yeah. If you are on a different cruise line, there is a ferry that the Bermuda runs that you can pay for.
That's like public transportation.
Public transit.
Yeah.
Ferry. But so we took the ferry, took about 45 minutes. Super smooth.
To go from the Naval Dockyard to
St. George's.
St. George. St. George's?
St. George's with no apostrophe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Plural.
And from there, we took the Bermuda public bus system to Crystal Caves.
Yes.
The public bus has an app that you can look at routes, and you can buy the tokens or the tickets because the bus itself will only take exact change cash. But most of the major stops had a place that were selling tickets. Like the bus stop right in quaint downtown St. George's had a shop that was selling tokens for the bus, so you could get them there. Apple Maps does not have the transit in Bermuda, but Google Maps does. So you can put starting endpoint, and Google Maps has the bus schedules and tracking the buses and things. So that was helpful. Hello, little friend. Hello, little friend. Hello. Chicken nuggets. I got a cafe with food and drinks. The entrance to Crystal Caves starts with a sloping down entrance before you get to the stairs. That's the original sinkhole entrance?
That was man-made.
Absolutely not.
1912 to 1914, just for easier access. And that's why these are cut, just to make way for the original stairway to come through.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's a whole lot of nope up there.
Yeah. As the water is dripping in the limestone, it's collecting a mineral called calcite. And when that finally drips into the cave, it leaves a small calcite deposit on the ceiling, forming stalactites. They have to hold them tight to the ceiling. That calcite deposit, it'll fall to the floor, starts forming stalagmites coming up from the ground. They might reach the ceiling. But when the two join in the middle, they form a column or a stalagmite like this. Perfect being that my name's Nathan, though. So they form at a rate of 1 cubic inch per 100 years. We estimate the entire cave system to be around 1.6 million years old. I do have some stalactites right here. You can hold top the table. Just to give you an idea of how dense and how heavy they can actually be. Very translucent. Yeah. It's like a salt rock or salt line. In fact, another name for calcite is calcium carbonate. It's the same thing in Tums and Alka-Seltzer, actually. What's all the curves? Come down there.
Migratory nerdy fact of the video. Did you know that these caves were the inspiration behind Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock? The caves and the story of their discovery inspired Fraggle Rock's co-creator, a Bermudian artist named Michael Firth, who imagined an underground world filled with strange and delightful creatures. The lighter they are, the more time the water had to filter the impurities, so there's less impurities in it, so they're white.
That stands at 11 feet tall. We call that the lighthouse. The one over here we call the French Poodle. And that one stands at 14 feet tall and 35 feet of water. And the deepest part in the cave is back there, where it drops down to 65 feet. One over there, that's the French Poodle, and that's 14 feet tall.
Wow.
But it's 35 feet just down here. Really? In the back there, it drops down to 65 feet. Wow. This cave was actually found way back in March 1907 while two 13 and 14-year-old boys were playing a game of cricket. But that game came to a sudden end when one of the boys hit the ball in the trees. And when the boys went to go search for the ball, they found something else instead, a small hole in the ground. So being boys, they did what any boys would have done. They went home. They got some rope and a kerosene lantern. The boys returned to the hole, they tied that rope around the tree, and they slowly lowered themselves down into the deep dark unknown. And once they got down here, what they thought was only a small pool of water, that turned out to be a 65-foot brackish water lake. And the boys swam for 2 hours. But unless they can hold their breath for a quarter mile underwater out to the ocean, the only way out for them was the way that they came in. So when the boys finally found the rope that they came down on, they made their way back up, they went home, and they told their parents what they found. And the parents told the Wilkinson family. The Wilkinson family, they owned the property above the cave, so the cave automatically went to them. The Wilkinsons, they came down here for the first time, and they saw the beauty of the cave. So that's when they decided to open it up one attraction a year later. And from 1908 to 1928, they used to have unguided boat ride tours, but people were allowed to bring saws and axes. They cut the tips of these stalactites and keep them for souvenirs. And it wasn't until 1929 when they realized that they should probably stop them. So that's when they hired the first tour guides, they installed electricity, and they built the first wooden pontoon bridge as well.
What goes down must come back up. Alright, the guided tour took about 40-ish minutes. It says 30 minutes, but you have to stop to let other groups pass on the way in and out. Time for a rum swizzle now. Got some goats over there. We've seen a lot of chickens. Baby chicken nuggets. Alright, and then Crystal Caves.
That was actually much better than I thought it was going to be.
We only did 2 caves. There's Crystal and Fantasy.
Correct.
We only did Crystal.
Correct.
Because Fantasy, from what we understood, they both had steps, but this had much more intense steps.
Yes,
or
the
steep.
Fantasy is more straight down and straight up, whereas Crystal has a little bit more breaks in between. As you're climbing, it's the same number of steps, but you get a few more breaks.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, it was great.
For someone who doesn't like small enclosed spaces and has a little bit of claustrophobia, it wasn't bad. When you get into the cave itself, it's more open. The only part I struggled with was like the steps up and down, because you're shuffling, like it's a one-way. So they do timed tours. So as we were trying to go down, there were timed tours coming up. So you like stopped on the steps and let all these people pass you. And that was the only time I was like, I'm in a cave. And I don't like it.
That's the only part that's a little weird, because it's just one way in, one way out. So yeah, we did have to stop at least twice for different tours coming back out.
Yeah, but it was our tour guide Nate was super knowledgeable. It's a guided tour, and like had a lot of fun facts and like told you the history of it, and I'm glad we did it. It was really cool. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I would do it again, which I never thought I was gonna say. An ice cream treat for the kids, and rum swizzles for the adults. Okay, and right next to the Crystal Caves is an ice cream parlor.
Yes.
And then across the street from the caves is the Swizzle Inn.
The famous
Swizzle Inn, which according to them, they invented the rum swizzle.
And it was delicious.
It was delicious. I don't know if I believe that they're the first ones who ever made a rum swizzle.
We're going to go with it.
But we're going to go with it. It was really good. And all the food we had
was really good. We shared a whole bunch of apps with our family, and we shared a whole bunch of swizzles. Which was really good. It's pricey. Yes.
Everything in Bermuda is pricey. So just if you're going to do one or two things, just the food was expensive, but not more expensive than like any other restaurant in Bermuda. It's just that's just what it is here.
Or any other touristy area. Yeah, I think if you're going to Vegas or
whatever,
Orlando or whatever, it's pricey.
Yeah, but it was delicious. Like every bite of food, and the rum swizzles were really good. The service was great.
Yeah.
We were like 9 people, and they immediately found a place for us. So like that's pretty crazy. So.
They also have clean restrooms.
Look at that.
I don't know if we said before, the caves also had clean restrooms.
That's true. And there are restrooms right outside the ice cream place, too.
Clean.
Yeah, so 3 for 3. If you're going to the unfinished church, you can walk down York, which is one of the main, and it's left on Government Hill Road, which is unfinished church. You can turn left at Yochery. And then if you walk up Government Hill Road, which as suggested is slightly uphill, the unfinished church is right up here. You'll come up from the ferry to the visitor center. Left takes you to the bus stop that we were at, and right takes you to the unfinished church. You'll come up from over here. All right, made it back to the shuttle. Let's see if there's enough space for us. Or the shuttle is a ferry. Okay. In real time, tomorrow is May 1st.
Yes.
Which, unbeknownst to us, when we were planning on this, is the day that King Charles is visiting Bermuda.
So there was increased military presence today. Not scary, but they were just practicing like the show that
there's
they're
a whole
gonna do.
bunch of ceremony when royal people and famous people visit. So they were.
So tomorrow we are in Bermuda for a half day, and it should be interesting because I think we might be having to fly. We might have to change our plans around because of the king.
Yes.
I don't think I'd ever said that before. So.
The hope is to get to Horseshoe Bay Beach.
Yeah.
And it looks like the king is coming to the Royal Navy Dockyard area, which is where the boat is, in the early afternoon.
So hopefully we can get in and out of back. The beach before he's here.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Because I'm not good at curtsying.
We'll practice. All right, it's day 6 of our 7-day Bermuda cruise. It's our final morning in Bermuda. The original plan was to go to Horseshoe Bay Beach, but we woke up this morning to some rain and some cold, so we hung out on the ship for a bit, and it's cleared up, so now we're just going to explore the Dockyard area, which is where the Norwegian ships dock in Bermuda. Lots of taxi options and independent tours and charters if you just come right off the boat, or you can just kind of roam around the dockyard. The Clock Tower Mall is located right in the Royal Navy Dockyard area and had some really clean, nice restrooms. There was also a convenience store pharmacy located in this area should you need anything. That would be less expensive than on the ship, but still more expensive than buying it not in a tourist area. Hi, fishies. All right, what are your final thoughts on our trip to Bermuda?
I thought Bermuda was nice.
Yes.
I wish we had like one more day.
Or our 2 half days or a full day.
Yeah.
You know, like, and our second, because we didn't get the first day, really. Because even if we had gotten in at 4, everything in Bermuda closes at like 5.
Except for like restaurants.
And right.
But the shopping, all the activities close up around 5.
Yeah, because there were a couple, like, there was like a museum.
There was a museum of like diving, not diving, like scuba diving, not like
swimming diving. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounded really cool. And then the aquarium sounded nice.
And the museum was closer there, and there was like an old historic like fort in the Royal Navy Dockyard that also looked interesting. But even if we had walked off the boat at 4:01 on the first day, it wouldn't have been enough time to enjoy any of those things. And then we didn't even get clearance till like 5:30, so you couldn't have done anything except go to a restaurant or bar.
Right.
And
And then our third day, we were gonna go to a pink sand beach, and then the day started wet. It was raining and cold, and then the king was there, So it just kind of like messed up the day. So I would say either like one more day or go later in the season when it's not quite so rainy and cold.
Because if it had been sunny, we would have gone to the sand beach. But by the time the weather cleared up, we still had a lot of time for back on board, but we were just worried about additional traffic. Like, Bermuda's a small island, so we were just worried about getting caught up in all of the road closures and anything, because the King was going to the Royal Navy Dockyard in the afternoon, and so we didn't want to mess with any of that. But I really liked Bermuda. The people were all very friendly.
Yeah. I mean, they rely on tourism.
But
so they're nice because they need you.
But they don't rely on tourism so much as some of those other like Caribbean islands where they're like aggressive.
It didn't feel depressed. The people were there living their lives, not being rude by any means, but also just kind of like, I'm living my life. Like, we went on the public bus. There were people there just going to work.
Yeah.
And nobody was rude or unhappy to see us by any means. But I don't think anyone was like fawning over us like we were at a luxury resort, because it's a real place. It's a real place where people really live and have a life. So
yeah, but I really liked it. They have the Bermudian dollar is the currency, but it has an equal exchange rate to the US dollar, and right now, but it seemed most establishments, if they took cash, would take US dollars, but everybody also took credit cards.
Yeah, we just used our cards.
And that was easy with nothing. So we said this a little bit when we were talking about the Swizzle Inn, but all of the food and beverage is tourist area expensive.
And that's a touristy place.
Plus, you're on an island, which in general makes things a little bit more expensive for food. So, and then we were at like the tourist stop of that area. But just be aware, if you're budgeting, that is, that you're paying tourist prices for food.
And again, if we had been there longer, we probably would have ventured into more local places. But we had basically one day.
Yeah, we had to hit these are the things you do if you go to Bermuda for one day, like the caves, get a rum swizzle, right?
And the main thing I'm sad about not doing is the pink
sand beach, and that it was just.
So we'll just have to go back.
Okay, we'll just go back. Anything else about Bermuda?
No, I would say wait later in the season to go. This lined up perfectly with school holiday, and we did have kids with us, our nieces. So that was great.
This was the week.
The point of this trip was to spend time with our family, not to go to Bermuda, really. Bermuda was the second tier of fun.
This, yeah.
So, but yeah, I would think, because even if we had been to a pink sand beach, I would have been freezing.
Yeah, if we were going and planning this ourselves, not dependent on other schedules, I would look later into the Bermuda season. If you want warm, even just leaving Boston to get to Bermuda, that first day and a half was a little chilly. So yeah, if we were doing this planning just to go to Bermuda, I would do a later season. Anything else about Bermuda? All right, we'll have one more vlog in the series after this that talks about all the things we did and saw and ate on the Norwegian Breakaway, and our sort of full review and recap of how we felt about the cruise and Norwegian and all of that. So stick around. All right, I'm Kirby.
I'm Dana.
And we are
Migratory Nerds.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when all of our new videos drop.
Bye.
Bye.